Okay, we're stooping kind of low here if we're going to read about a killer frill shark. Are we? Island Red, the 2016 novel by Matt Serafini. This review will contain decent spoilers, as in it won't spoil everything, but there are some minor-ish spoilers. But read it regardless of what I say, because you'll be in for one hell of a time. The plot. Reggie is off to Crystal Key, Florida, after his mother has a special date with her lover. He assents to his father, who is distant from his mother. You know, divorces can do that. Anyway, seemingly out of the ocean blue, a prehistoric frill shark begins to wreak havoc and tear tourists and citizens apart. If things couldn't possibly get any more out of this world, guess again. That's right, an alien parasite has made itself a permanent resident off Crystal Key, Florida, and is turning the locals into thinking zombies. Can Reggie, his father, a hitman, and his lover, as well as a nearby ship that seems to know all too much, be able to stop this underwater menace? I am not sold on the concept of zombies in my shark stories, at least not yet in film. Still, this is pretty good. It's Slither meets Jaws in this naughty and nautical adventure of action, gore, and great characters for a shark story. Reggie is one of those rare cases that acting like a little adult helps him in this case. He needed to in order to survive. He even takes down a few of the undead. Still, he's a kid at heart with a crush back home and a love of video games. Luther, Reggie's father, is a character we can feel remorse for. He desperately wants to rekindle at least his relationship he used to have with his son. If he could, I'm sure he would try to win back his ex-wife too. Manuel is the assassin, with the bartender girlfriend, who has a son of her own. He is desperately searching for his target, but it isn't all too clear what his intentions are for her. He hates himself and doesn't care if he dies. He just wants to finish his last task. The characters on the ship that is settled near the exit of Crystal Key don't come into play until the last 50 to 60 pages, but their presence is felt throughout all the hell that is unleashed in this book. So, with all the great characters, is there any downside to their development? Sometimes it takes a while for Manuel's persistent investigation. There are some other characters that talk for a bit, but then something crazy happens to make up for the boring talk. There is also a decent build-up for an oncoming storm. It seems secondary to the importance of everything else in the story, and could have been omitted, and that wouldn't have changed much. Our killer shark for this book is a frill shark. You know, the kind of shark that was discovered in Japan in 2004. It's prehistoric, it's caught on camera, it's real. There's video documentation of this fish, and let me tell you, it moved nothing like the crazy predator in this book. But there is a reason why it is acting so crazy. And it's a freaky looking shark that slithers, and in this story it is able to constrict people, and seem to have a tube for a stomach because of its seemingly never-ending feeding cycle. I'll touch on the writing. The story does run into minor pacing issues, but Serafini's writing is strong enough to keep me invested. It's not too detailed, and not too lightly fed to us. The gore! Speaking of the attacks, the shark causes quite the bloody feasting sessions, with people being munched and chomped into pieces. However, I feel the zombie aspect is far gorier. Heads split into bloody corpses, headshots, greasy bullet hits, and the alien worms infest their host through any opening in the body. It's a high-octane thriller with a zombie and a shark horror in a gory abundance. This is a great horror story. Maybe a bit too much sex and gross-out scenes. Some plotlines could have been dropped, and the pacing needed a bit of tinkering, but other than that, and some other nitpicks, like Reggie's debatable behavior to the whole scenario, I think it's entertaining carnage candy. Overall, I give Island Red a 3.5 out of 5. I am Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Entertainment. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below and leave comments and subscribe.